experienced the catch-22 situation?
You mean to say have I ever been in a catch-22 situation?
Yes.
Okay.
And you're like,
Okay. Not once, but many times in my
just
life.
give me, before answering these questions, just give me a brief of what is the catch-22 situation. So that, right?
Yes. Actually, catch-22 situation is a situation when it is extremely difficult for you to take a decision, to make a choice. So we call it dilemma. Some people pronounce it as dilemma. So dilemma, predicament. When you are at your 6th and 7th, you are not able to make the right kind of decision. So
Right.
you feel your mind is foggy and you are unable to make the right kind of decision. So that is catch-22 situation.
Yes. We can say, sir, like आगे हुआ पीछे खाई, right? So we are not able to take any decision. So we are totally confused, right? Yes. Do you think sometimes people become so loser when they cannot accept the failure? So sometimes they behave like that, so loser. So what's your take on?
Yes. This is very common to be seen in our society. Like whenever there is a sports competition or whenever there is any kind of beat singing competition, be it any coding competition, technical competition, I have seen that when a particular candidate is not able to win that competition, they would be acting like a sore loser.
Dr. Noor, warm welcome to this session, and I'm really delighted to having you here. And thank you so much for taking time out for this session. So how have you been doing so far, sir? And how was your morning?
Yeah, it was quite good. Thanks for asking. What about you?
Yes, my morning was also fantastic because today, okay, sir. So as I know you very well, but you are very first time you are on my channel, and for the sake of viewers, so let's start with a brief introduction. So I would love to know more about you, sir.
Yes, as you already know that my name is Anand Mahajan. I live in Kurukshetra city of Haryana. I did economics honors from Delhi University, but I have been, throughout I have been in the coding field. So I used to create online courses related to computer programming, but now I have switched my profession and I'm working as a spoken English trainer. So I'm giving online training to those people who aspire to enhance their English speaking skills.
Okay. So yes, your introduction was really amazing and wonderful and very pragmatic because you have a lot of skill and now you want to like quit your profession, and so it would be very blessing for us because we learn a lot of things from you today. So sir, as I know you are a English spoken trainer as well as you are a very eloquent speaker. So for the sake of time, during this conversation ahead, I have prepared a set of questions for you, and I would love to hear your thoughts and perspectives about this question. So may I proceed, sir?
Sure, please. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so these are very simple but very interesting. So my first question goes to you. What do you think consistency is harder to maintain nowadays because of social media distraction?
Yes, that is a very insightful question, very interesting one. Yes, that is true. Because nowadays, all the people, irrespective of their age groups, all the people, they are always engrossed using social media. So that goes without saying that it's a very big distraction. Now it has become a very big distraction, not for Gen Z, but all the people who are, adult also. So, whenever we set out to do any work, after working for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we would be getting fidgety and we would try to, reach for our phone and would we try to see what is the, new post that we should be looking for. And apart from this, even though we are sitting idle, so in that case also like every 10 minutes or every 15 minutes, sometimes every 5 minutes, we will be reaching for our phone and we will try to see, even though we are not expecting any important news, we are not expecting any, a very some kind of urgent kind of post or that, but it has become our second nature that all the time we are, we are looking at our phone and we are trying to see, what is it the post and what is the new reel that we may, watch on Instagram and on other social media networks. So it is, concentration is the main casualty. Focus is the main casualty in this case. So what we can do is, my suggestion is, in such cases, it is easier said than done. We can very easily say we should not be, looking for our phone every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. But even if we resolve, but that resolution that persists only for, half day or at maximum one day. After that, again, we fall into the same habit trap. So there is a solution, in my opinion. That solution is, there are many apps and there are many browser extensions that we people can use to control this habit of ours. Like there is a very popular app. It is called Google Digital, Google Digital Welfare. This app can be used, and these are the apps which will set the time limit for you. And once you are using the social media, after reaching a threshold, that threshold of time, suppose you have set the threshold for half an hour. So after half an hour, your social media app would automatically be, shut down. That would be blocked or that will be shut down. So Google digital welfare app is there. Apart from this, there is another one which is used, which has been created by Apple. It is called Screen Time. And
Great.
apart from this, there is an Cold Turkey, Freedom. There are so many apps, and there are many browser extensions also. So we should
Okay.
be resorting to use these extensions and these apps so that we can control ourselves and we can just we can desist from frittering our time on social media.
Really, sir. It would be very helpful for, those they are always trying to scrolling something on social media. And as we know nowadays, social media is very, like enticing and addictive. So there are many people, they go trapped in, doom scrolling and like scrolling hours and hours. And later on, they start thinking like it was hamster on wheel because doing something but not getting any result, right? And there are many people.
Yes.
Okay, so now just throw some light on my second question. So that is, what is more important, communication skills or technical skills?
Yeah, that is also a very interesting question. In my opinion, both are equally important. Both are
Mhm.
nowadays, both are equally important. Why? Because we have to strike a balance between the two. Nowadays, what happens is if you are proficient, if you are well versed in technical knowledge, but you are lacking in communication skills, in that case, it is very difficult to find a plum job, a lucrative job in the market, high paying job, I mean to say. Why?
Right.
Because now most of the companies, like you can expect to get good salaries, and good, attractive remunerations only in MNCs, and many companies worth their salt. Now, these are the companies, they prefer to hire those people who are, fluent and confident English speakers, because many times they have to deal with the foreign clients. Even if they are not dealing with the foreign clients, but in my opinion, I don't know whether I should use this word or not. It has become a kind of fashion statement that in your office also, in your board meetings also, when you are having a conversation with your boss or with your colleagues, you should be using English language only. It's a
Mhm. Right.
kind of yes. So now. And on the I have been in this IT field for the last many years. I have been witness to this. I have come across many candidates who were quite proficient, who were quite skillful in coding,
Mhm.
computer programming, but yet they were not selected in the companies, like IT companies, which are reputed and prestigious IT companies. Why? Despite being proficient in technical skills, they were lacking in communication skills in English. So in the interview, first they would be, they would be cracking the written exam with flying colors, but when it comes to comes to giving an interview, so they would be, faltering, fumbling, they would be getting nervous, and they will be at their wit ends, like when they are trying to explain something, when they are trying to share their opinions, share their thoughts and all that. So they are, they can be rejected, and most of the times they are rejected. And
Mhm.
you'll be surprised, no, I have come across many such experiences also, where the candidate was average in technical knowledge, but was having good communication skills.
Mhm.
He was they were quite communicative in English, yet they were selected by these companies, because these companies, they think that if even if they are lacking in technical skills, they can be trained within 3 months or 4 months. But if a person is lacking in communication skills in English, that is a long journey. And these are the
Right.
companies which are not, this is not their responsibility to train their employees in English speaking, or to enhance their English speaking skills and all that. So, in my
Mhm.
opinion, you stand a very good and balanced chance to get a high-paying job in the market if you are technically sound. At the same time, you are a good you have good
Communication.
communication skills in English. Yes.
Right, right. You rightly said, sir. I do agree with your point. Like nowadays, having one skill, it doesn't work, right? So I think we should have a skillful person, and we should have a communication skill as well as technical skill that only you can, stay on the market for long. And yes, it is, I think, case of horses for courses. Like different people are good at different things, and but if those who are, who are good at technical skill, so it can help them to get opportunity. While if you are good at communication skills, so it can help you to express your thought, your idea confidently, right? And as you told, nowadays in market, you can see there are many talented people. They become frazzled during the interview. They are not able to communicate themselves properly. So I guess if we are using both skills wisely, then only you can get a good job, and we can you can firmly hold ourselves on the job market nowadays. It's really very important, right, sir? So yes,
Right.
now I'm just I'm going to pose another question here. So that is, have you ever experienced the catch-22 situation?
You mean to say I have? You mean to say have I ever been in a catch-22 situation?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
in your life.
okay, okay,
Mm.
okay. Not
And
once, but many times in my
just
life.
give me before, yeah, before answering these questions, just give me a brief of what is the catch-22 situation. So that, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, catch-22 situation is a situation when it is extremely difficult for you to take a decision, to
Mm.
make a choice. So we call it dilemma.
Really.
People pronounce it as dilemma. So dilemma, predicament.
Mm.
When you are at your sixes and seven, you are not able to make the right kind of decision. So
Right.
you feel your mind is foggy and you are unable to make the right kind of decision. So that is
Right.
catch-22 situation.
Yes. In Hindi, we can say, sir, like, आगे कुआं पीछे खाई, right? So we are not able
Mhm.
to take any decision. There is no,
Yes,
we are
yes, yes.
totally
Mhm.
confused, right?
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Right, right.
So have
So
you
if
ever experienced?
yes, as far as my experience is concerned, as I told you, it has been many times that I have been in such kind of situation. But I can, I can narrate an incident where I was in catch-22 situation that happened with me just recently. I have two very good friends of mine, and both are very ardent followers of two separate spiritual gurus. You know, so
Mhm.
like what happened was, coincidentally, like both the spiritual organizations, like they were going to conduct a very huge kind of carnival, or you can say this was a kind of function that was going to take place. So one was in somewhere in Punjab, one was in Delhi. So both of my friends, they requested me, they told me to accompany them. So the first friend, he insisted on my joining him to Punjab so that we both can attend that religious function. And my second friend, he was impressing upon me to accompany him to Delhi in order to attend that religious function with him. I don't know why, but both of them, they were so much adamant that I should go with them. So like even though I'm not following any guru or something like this, but like they were very adamant that I should be going with them. So
Mhm.
same date was there, and it was very difficult for me to take a decision. So it was a catch-22 situation for me because both of them, they are very good friends of mine. So I didn't want to rub any person, any of them the wrong way. So then I came up with an idea. So I suddenly made an excuse that on that date, I have to go to my sister's place because the function is going to take place at her house. So this is how I extricated myself from this difficult situation.
Oh, it was really a catch-22 because both were your best friend, so you can't deny both of them. So yeah, it's a really a catch-22 situation for you.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's happen in many people's life, right? They are not able to take a decision what to do, what to not. Yes, really.
Exactly.
So sometimes people feel, stuck in a rut because in this situation, they don't know what decision good for them, right? So really, sir, it was
Exactly.
many people, feel in their life they're stuck somewhere. So it's really tough,
Mhm.
to take decisions.
Exactly.
Okay, so so my next question is that uh, do you think sometimes people become sore loser when they cannot, accept the failure? So sometimes they behave like that sore loser. So what's your take on?
Yes, yes, yes. This is very common to be seen in our society. Like whenever there is a sports competition or whenever there is any kind of, be it singing competition, be it any coding competition, technical competition. I have seen that when a particular candidate is not able to win that competition, they would be acting like a sore loser. Either they will be blaming the organizers. They would be accusing them of being partial. They will be accusing the organizations that in the organizers of that particular competition that like there was a discrimination on their part. So this is something which is very unbecoming on the part of these candidates, because in life we should we should be accepting our defeat. We should be accepting our failures with grace, with grace, with patience,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
it should be with empathy also. So like I think the major reason is nowadays we people have become we all are egoists. Like there are two kind of people. So here both the categories, these people, they fall in both the categories. First one is
Right.
they are egoists and they are egotists. So egoists are those persons who say that their interest, they should come first. Their
Right.
interest, that should be given the top priority. They are egoist and egotist people. They're just like them, but they always think that they are superior to others. So how come it be possible that the other person, he was able to he was able to win and I was defeated? So this kind of mentality, that should go. And sometimes as we people use this word very often, some nowadays there is this kind of attitude that the people, they are becoming narcissistic. So narcissistic
Narcissist.
people are the people who think that they are the best, like nobody is close to them as far as talent is concerned or
Hmm.
any kind of caliber is concerned. So if
Me
you are
first.
a narcissist, so it is next to impossible for you to accept the defeat. So naturally, in that case, you will be, behaving in a very grouchy, grumpy manner, and you will be irritating the other persons also.
Right.
That is also, one of the reasons. And
Mhm.
to conclude it, we can say like the people, they don't have the emotional control over themselves. So when we are faced with such kind of situations, we shouldn't feel that we have been humiliated and we should be feeling embarrassed and all that. Why? Why? It is a competition.
Right.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't win. So you shouldn't,
Mhm.
take it to your heart. You shouldn't be taking it negatively. And so that kind of emotional control is lacking nowadays among the people. So that is one of the reasons that we come across such people who are, sore losers.
Yeah, right, sir. Here you explain amazingly, like you explain each and everything when people, become soul loser. So yes, I have also seen there are many people, they cannot accept their failure and they behave soul loser. And when they actually they take the failures personally, and when they plan something in their future and it go awry. So they behave, soul loser instead of they learn from the mistake. Because if something has not happened good in life, so we should learn the lesson and we should behave properly, not like a soul loser. Because failures are a part of our life and it is kind of, stepping stones, right? So people, those that, can't accept, so they behave like that. And sometimes they behave, dastardly because I think because of jealous or ego, as you told, ego take control over them, and they behave they are not able to accept, and sometimes they can spurn your good advice as well, and they keep on behaving like like very what when uh, and they can't actually control the failure. So this is, I think, reason they are behaving like that. So sometimes they that is maybe that is in not their control. So that's why they behave like that. But I think we should not behave like that because we are mature enough. So you show your sincerity, maturity, and be a proper, right? Even if you get failure in your life, right, sir? It's my belief. Okay, sir. So now actually, I have already asked many questions from you. So now I would like to know something related to the English, right? Because now we are here to improve like our English. So as I know, you are a very eloquent speaker as well as a English spoken trainer. So just give me some tips like how a person can become expressive English speaker. Right? What is the hurdles and something are there? So how can they remove and they can become a very expressive English speaker?
I always believe that it is very easy, rather it's a cakewalk for any Indian to become fluent in English. Why? Because, you know, um, in our schools, we have been studying English as one of the compulsory subjects. So that means we are already familiar with basic grammar and basic vocabulary. Basic grammar and basic vocabulary is something which is, more than enough to start speaking English. I'm not saying that you should be, going up the ladder. You shouldn't be becoming advanced English speaker. You should, but first you should be concentrating on speaking simple English, using the simple grammar, using the simple vocabulary that you had learned in your school. And once you start speaking simple English, you will gain a lot of confidence. Once you gain the confidence, then you can hit the ground running and you can start learning new vocabulary words, idioms, phrases, and all that. So, my suggestion is number one is you should never treat English as a subject. It is not a subject. It is it is a language. So like we people learn languages similarly. If we treat it as a language, it is very easy to learn it. And another thing is like, we shouldn't be laying a lot of emphasis on grammar. Basic grammar is more than enough. But I'm not saying that we shouldn't learn advanced grammar. But we have learned basic grammar by cramming the rules and all that. When it comes to learn advanced grammar, in that case, we should become a good observer. We should be, observing those people who are quite proficient and who are quite, fluent in English language. So when we are listening to these consummate English speakers, we come to know about these advanced grammar rules automatically, effortlessly. And but if we will sit down with a notebook and trying to cram the rules of advanced grammar, and that is not going to lead us nowhere, that is not going to lead us anywhere. So as it will be just like it will be a hamster wheel kind of situation. So you won't be experiencing any progress in this situation. So you should become a good observer. Nowadays there are many shadowing techniques. So this is really wonderful. So you can you are supposed to repeat whatever the speaker has said. So it also goes a long way in making you fluent in English. And apart from this, there are many suggestions. You should develop the habit of reading. Once you read something, after reading 2, 3 paragraphs mindfully with full focus, you should be reading the same paragraphs aloud. And if possible, you should record your voice in your mobile phone when you're reading those paragraphs. And it is also very instrumental in making you confident and making you fluent in English, because it improves your pronunciation, it improves your accent, and to top it all, it improves your confidence. Initially you may think, yeah, what is the benefit? I'm just reading aloud. What is the benefit? No, after a few weeks, definitely you are going to see a great deal of difference, a great deal of improvement in your spoken English skills.
So practice and practice, right? So practice makes a man perfect. So
Exactly.
I think, yeah, this we should implement in our daily life. So then we can become a fluent speaker. And as you suggested, a lot of tips here. So I would like to say to my viewers, so just follow all these tips and
Just
tricks.
on
Before signing off the day, I would like to say thank you so much for this productive and insightful session. And today I generally, enjoy this session wholeheartedly. And yes, I learned a lot of things, new words and expressions, and your idea and thought about all those questions. So really, this always helps me to improve my communication skills and speaking skills. So thank you so much for this interacting
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
conversation.
for inviting me. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. I enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And I'm looking forward to our next reunion where we will talk another question and a lot of
Sure.
things. Okay?
My pleasure.
Okay.
My pleasure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye. Have a good day.